What is up, guys? It is Squadcast Podcast. I am Mr. Fabulous, and we have Fried Chili Cheese Dogs. What's up?
Hello,
Welcome to
what's up,
Squad.
man? Mr. Fabulous, it's nice to be in the same room with you, but we are miles away.
Yeah, it's nice to have you on the podcast.
Thank you.
Who is your main inspiration for making comedy sketch videos on YouTube?
There's a ton of names that I think of, like when it comes to like exactly that. When I was a kid, so I was born in like the midnight. I was born in '95. Jim Carrey was huge back then. When The Grinch came out, like, dude, that was like the biggest movie for me as like a 5-year-old. I absolutely love you guys, I'm sure you've seen The Grinch. Just the set, the acting, the way the lines were said, and like Jim just did such a great job with everything he did. So when I was a kid and I saw that and I saw his other movies, I was just blown away. That like right there when I was about that age, like that was when I was like, I want to do something in this. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I want to be whatever comes along with like a director or an actor or something. Jim Carrey was a huge one. And then as I got older, Mike Myers and the Cat in the Hat was like, that was huge for me too. Like that's one of my all-time favorite movies. And then just like knowing that it's like, okay, an actor will do more movies like the other movies that they've done. Like you watch Jack Black, and I do that sometimes. I'll pick an actor and I'll just watch like all their movies. I just enjoy it.
yeah.
It's a lot of fun to just binge watch a specific person that you really like. You like one of their video or one of their movies.
See, that's the thing about just watching like movies like that, because it inspires like a lot of people out there like that, if, even before YouTube was even around.
I made a little list, but it's so like Looney Tunes, like absolutely. We had a ton of Looney Tunes
Mm.
tapes growing up. I don't know if you ever heard of Rocky and Bullwinkle.
I've heard of that.
But
Very good.
yeah, the original and the movie that they made in 2000, again at the same age as when The Grinch came out. Of course,
Such a good
SpongeBob
movie.
is a huge inspiration. The first 3 seasons and then the first movie, like that time, I gotta say, between like 2000, I think it started, and up until about 2006, maybe 2005 or maybe 7, somewhere around there. It was just like a cavalcade of constant amazing stuff. Like
Hmm.
and it was all very new. We were talking about the cinematic universe, the all of these Marvel movies were like brand new. And
Yeah.
I mean, there was the Batman movies in the '90s that I had on tape and stuff. To see like just amazing, like just
Yeah.
incredible movies year after year coming out in the theaters, like the prime of SpongeBob on TV. We live in South Florida. Going to Orlando and seeing Disney World and Universal Studios, when it comes to like, I mean, our sets and our videos are not this intricate, but just seeing like at Universal Studios and the way that they build the buildings there and they make them look cartoonish, or they make them look like the Marvel universe, like it was such an inspiration to walk around and to see all that, just be like in the middle of it, like it's amazing. Stand-up comedy, I listen to a lot of stand-up. That has definitely inspired me over the years. But yeah, Jim Carrey and Mike Myers, I would say two huge ones.
Yeah,
Some of the
they're
classics.
one of the best classics of today. Very best. I can agree
Yeah,
more with that.
I love them. I would say specifically on YouTube, inspirations would be like the guy who made Charlie the Unicorn. I used to be really big into him. I used to watch like a lot of his stuff. His stuff is like, just for YouTube, is like the fact that he puts that stuff out and he really only puts it on YouTube, like is
Mm.
incredible. There were big channels back in the day that we all used to watch, but they were more like the kind of the same thing each episode, or it would kind of be similar. Whenever I saw anything creative or anything that was like really well done, I was always like amazed by it. If it was older, like saying you love the '80s and '90s and stuff, like even if it was from an old tape or whatever, you just feel that when you're inspired by something, you just really feel it. Like I get a very, I call it like a cozy kind of feeling, that when you see something that's just like really inspires you, really takes you to a special place. You watch something and it can give you a feeling like nothing else.
Yeah,
When you
exactly.
watch certain videos or certain movies and stuff, it's incredible.
Yeah, like it inspires like a
Yeah.
bunch of people because like they get so inspired by the movie or something, and then they think of like a creative way to just use that in their own like, inspiration, and then they come up with something that no one's ever came up with. That's really
Yeah.
what the magic of it is.
Yeah. A lot of times I'll be watching a movie and I'll think like either they could have done this way, or I liked, for example, there's a movie called The 5,000 Fingers of Dr. Terwilliger, which was
Mm,
Dr. Seuss's only movie that he was like a Hollywood kind of movie back in the 1950s. And
I
it's
didn't
like
know he made that.
if you watch, yeah, it's his only. The other ones he did the cartoons, the Grinch and the Cat in the Hat. I don't know if you've ever seen those. They're like from the 60s, 70s, 80s.
It must have made like
But
cartoons or something of those. Yeah, I know those.
he worked with Chuck Jones and stuff. But in it's a
Yeah.
very small movie. But the 5000 one has a just incredible set design that is like it's all Dr. Seussy. And like I watched it and I actually edited the movie up just for those scenes with those sets, and it's fantastic. If you go on YouTube and look up the clips of that movie, it's and just watching something like that, you just get so inspired. Even if it's a small part of the movie, even if it's only
Hmm.
like it lasted a minute or so, so cool just to be like, oh wow, look at this little gold nugget of something I found that he loves to just kind of enjoy.
Yeah, exactly, man. That's the inspiration behind the sets because like you get to really just imagine what it is like on the sets and like if it was like the book, you could even imagine it even more from the book itself because the book
Hmm.
like gives you the story and the movie already like it's different because it tells you the story and you're watching the story. But as if you like you can imagine the set from the book, seeing the set, such a different thing. Very different.
Yeah. Oh,
And
absolutely.
yeah, very
Yeah.
cool in each way. When did you originally start doing YouTube? When did Fried Chili Cheese Dogs start doing YouTube?
I first heard about YouTube in May 2006.
Hmm.
I was at a Barnes and Noble. It was like the last day of fifth grade, I think, or somewhere around there. And a kid that I knew from class said, like, you got to check out this website. It's called youtube.com. And I was like, oh, cool. Like, what is it? And there were some other websites at the time that were cool. There was one called funnyjunk.com.
Never heard of that one.
And you've never heard of it?
No, I was born
There's,
2004, so I don't know nothing
oh,
about
okay.
that.
You could probably go through everything on the website in about like an hour, and it had
Hmm.
funny pictures, it
Huh.
had funny videos, like and the funny thing is like back then they had these like interactive videos. It was almost
Huh.
like a game, but it was also a video at the same time. It was crazy. Like you could click on stuff. It was special videos and stuff. There was one, I
Huh.
don't know if anybody's gonna look it up, but it was like it was a daisy. It was two daisies or something, and you would
Hmm.
click on the petals, and it would like pluck the petals off as like a she loves me not kind of thing. And like that was it. Like you just plucked all the petals off, and it would
Wow,
the flower would dance around,
that's
and it was
crazy.
just cool. Like and it's so funny because now it's 20 years later and they just have videos now. There's nothing like that. And I'm like, how
No,
is this like the future? Like that was the more future. You know what I mean? That was
I
more
know
like well done, and technology was better for that than like now
exactly,
it's
dude.
just videos now. And then another thing was like emails. Like my dad would be like, "Hey, check out this email someone sent me," and it would be like a video or something from wherever. It'd be like a funny video. Like that was all we had back then when it comes to the internet. It was like a couple websites. I think there was one called addictinggames.com or
Addicting
something,
games
and we
dog.
used to
Huh.
that had a lot of games, and like I don't know if it had videos, but we'd be on there all the time. But with YouTube, so I was watching YouTube videos, and it was at the time back in 2006, it was like completely different. Like you would go on the main page, it was all people. It was all just like
Yeah.
creators. Like that's it. There was no Vivo. There was no Justin Bieber doing anything yet. It was all just like somebody came up with a quirky, cool idea and they put it into a video. You ever watched Ryan Higa? He was one of the biggest YouTubers back then, and he did a video called How to Be Ninja. And it was just like a
Hmm.
commercial parody. It's just stuff like that. It was just like these little niche videos that I don't even know if people are still making stuff like that anymore.
It's very
That's
different now.
yeah, now
Very
it's
different.
like it feels like it's like trying to really get your attention, trying to like do something crazy wild. And then a lot of times it's a lot of like just someone explaining something video. You
Yeah.
click on the video that they explain something, they show some pictures and stuff, which is cool, you know what I mean? Some great video essays and things like that. But like back then it was mostly sketches, skits. People had like their own little series and stuff like that. And it was just it was a whole different landscape. So it was very inspiring back then to watch those and to say, hey, like I wanna do something too. That was like the immediate response was, oh, these are funny videos of young people making videos. I want to make some videos too. I made a channel. I think I wanted to like comment on something in November of 2007. And I was in like, I think I was in seventh grade then, you know, was like 12. And I said, okay, I'm going to make a channel. And then that Christmas, my dad bought us two camcorders, like that recorded on tape, like they were called mini DV tapes. and they look
Hmm.
like a tiny little VHS, and you put it in there, and little like $150 cameras or something, like the cheapest ones that they had.
Wow, that's very cheap.
And yeah, back then they made them, they were compact and everything. And so we were playing with the cameras for a little while, and my sister was actually like doing more videos than I was at first. Like she was
Hmm.
filming with her friends and stuff, and they were making fun of like Taylor Swift or whoever in early 2008. They were doing whatever with the cameras. And then I started kind of seeing what they were doing, and I said, well, maybe I should like do this with my friends too. Brandon and I had just met in August of 2007. We had a
Hmm.
TV production class together. I was, because like I said earlier, I was interested in movies and stuff. So I took this TV production class in middle school, and Brandon was in it too. First, we were like kind of at odds. It's so funny. This happened with another friend of mine like a couple years later, where when we first met, we like didn't like each other. I don't know what it was, because we looked similar or whatever it was, but we didn't like each other. And then something would happen, and we would end up getting into a conversation, and then we actually became friends. And it's so weird, because like at first you think like, I'm not going to be friends with that person, they upset me or whatever. But
Yeah.
me and Brandon, like, we became friends, and then boom, like that was it. He's a funny guy, and we were always laughing. His parents and I think my parents were very similar in humor. And then the two of us like just always laughing. We were
You
always
guys
joking
kind of
about
just
stuff. We
bonded
were
with each
always,
other.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And it was over laughter. It was over joking around. It was over like making fun of stuff. It was over like, we'd go to a Goodwill, and we'd walk around, and we'd like pick up stuff, and we'd be like, hey, like, look at this thing. What's this for? Or whatever, who would buy this? Or, like, oh, this has been
Yeah.
here for 20 years. Nobody wants to buy. We just make fun of stuff. We would do that. We go into a dollar store, do the same thing. And we were just really great friends. I said to him one day in summer of 2008, it was July 9th, 2008. Hey, I said, I've been kicking around some ideas for doing like a website at first, but then with YouTube, I think we should just post the videos to YouTube. But I said, let's like write a script. Let's like come up with a show format, and let's do like a show like every however often we can produce it. And originally we came up with an idea that was 10 minutes long, because I love variety stuff. Rocky and Bullwinkle is very much a variety show. It's comprised of like 5 segments. And I said, okay, we're going to do one that's an intro, a little joke or whatever, a minute long. And then we're going to do a Purple Monkey Adventure, which was basically a plush video. And it was silent. There was no talking. And then we're going to do 2 commercial parodies. And then we were going to do one called Action News, which was sock puppets and like a
Hmm.
marionette puppet and stuff. And then the final one, Randonium, which would be like 15-second jokes, like real fast joke, just punchline. We came up with that. And it's funny because when you talk about like inspiration and stuff, I didn't like see another YouTuber do plush at the time. I didn't really see anybody do any plush at the time. I just had this little monkey. It was a little purple monkey, and I just
Hmm.
said like, let's do something with it. You know what I mean? Like I didn't
Yeah.
know that. I mean, we talk about like Super Mario Logan doing stuff back then, but I never even heard of him at the time. I just thought it would be funny to do like a puppet show. We called them puppets back then. When I was growing up, my dad would call them stuffed animals. We didn't even call them plush.
That was the term.
Yeah, and then we just started making the episodes, and we ended up making 12 between 2000. It took like a whole year to make one episode, because when you're starting out making a video, you want to do it, and then like you don't know how to do it, and you just kind of go like, okay, how do I actually like do this? Like I gotta film, I gotta write an idea, then I gotta film it, then I gotta edit it. I always tell everybody like, start small. If you got a project, start small. Make a 1-minute video, even if it's like a scripted idea. Try 1 minute and then finish it, and then you want to go to 2 minutes, but always start small. A lot of times I've heard like someone wants to make a movie, a whole film, an hour and a half or something, and I say like, go keep it really short, so that way you can enjoy finishing the project and getting that satisfaction from it. A lot of times with longer content, a lot of times it's very hard to do that, and
Yeah.
especially when you're practicing and stuff, you want to just do them short. So we were happy with the format of short stuff comprised into a 10-minute video. Our goal was once a month. You know how like with life, like you don't
Yeah.
always, it's hard to stick to making videos like consistently. And then you got homework and all that, reports and all that. And then you get this little sliver of time to be like, oh, I can't wait to edit, right? I can't wait to, you got another idea, or oh, I wrote
Yeah.
this down, I want to add it to my notebook. So we did that format, the numbered episodes 1 through 12, until 2011. We were getting no views. We were in the trash can.
Hmm.
I had 26 subscribers after
Hmm.
doing it for like 4 years. I was just like, man, this is not really working. I enjoy it. I fully enjoy doing this, but I'm not getting anywhere. I'm not even nothing. I loved watching my videos over, and I loved moments, and it made me feel great. So I said, well, let's keep going. So we switched the format up. We said, well, most videos on YouTube are not, no one's going to search fried chili cheese dogs. And even if they do, they're only going to watch like the beginning. And it's funny, when I was doing when I did the purple monkey segment and the sock puppet segment, my friends actually thought that was the worst part of the show. They liked the live action stuff more. It's funny now, I get more views on the plush stuff and less views on the live action stuff. So it's like it's a complete reversal. I actually pulled Purple Monkey part for a few episodes and did a serial, like continuing story. We brought Purple Monkey back at the end of the series, but we started doing individual videos where we would just come up with a funny idea. Okay, let's aim for a minute and a half, 2 minutes, and then film it and put it out there. It was, I think, doing a little bit better because it was more individual.
Yeah.
But a lot of YouTube is trial and error. You start somewhere, you have no idea what to do. You just do what you want to do, and then you see, well, this isn't really connecting with an audience. This isn't doing this. I want to connect with an audience, but I don't want to compromise my work so much. So you have to kind of make changes that work for you and for your audience.
Yeah.
And eventually, like, people kind of catch on a little bit. And then it's very cool when we were in the tens of views. Now we're in the hundreds. Hey, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it'll go back. You'll be like, hey, good, and then it'll go back down again. You'll be like, oh, well, you just keep doing it. We started back in 2008. That's pretty much how it began.
Hmm.
It's right there.
That is a great story, man. That's a good way of explaining it.
Thanks. I know that was like a whole generation ago.
No, it's good, bro.
But
That was interesting because again, a lot of us Gen Z people, we don't know about some of that stuff. Some of us don't know about some of that
Mhm.
stuff. So it's nice to know about like how just filming even was back in the day because again, you had a really cheap camera like you said, and then a lot of
Mhm.
people just started out with a camera and then kind of went based off of just what they liked, and then they started to see views drop, like you said, like your channel views dropped, and then all kinds of other channels views dropped, and then like found something that connected to the audience and that connected to what they liked, and then they stick with it and kept forward
Yeah.
because a lot of YouTubers have done that. But yeah, honestly, I can say that's kind of what it is because they have an audience and they keep making the same content for the same audience. That's the same thing right here. Do you know the plush community? Like, are you familiar with any of the people involved in that?
Yeah, so that's a hard question for me because like so long ago, and we really didn't like watch plush videos or anything like that for any inspiration. We liked a lot of animation, but there really wasn't a whole lot of plush. There was maybe like every now and then someone would do something with puppets. Like there was a Harry Potter video called Potter Puppet Pals by Neil Segura or something like that. I checked his channel like a little while ago, a couple months ago, and he hadn't posted in years. I feel like 90-year-old man on YouTube now. Like I go visit my friends and they're dead. I just like I go like, oh man, like well, let's see how he's doing. And then you look and it's like, oh, it's been 10 years since they posted. Like I get that that's gonna happen. YouTubers are
Mm,
gonna post stuff if it's either not working out, or sometimes even if it is working out, they still decide to stop. That's how it goes. So when it comes to the plush community, so I know Super Mario Logan. I really hadn't, I'll be honest with you, I hadn't seen any of his videos until after I started posting the SpongeBob videos. Some of his stuff would also come up if I was rewatching something that I had made. The only other one I know is really Aquatic Neptune because his stuff was like right with my stuff,
Oh yeah, exactly,
and
dude. It's the same stuff. Yeah,
you definitely feel he was very inspired by us. And there was definitely an audience for SpongeBob plush videos. I thought of doing
definitely.
okay, I'll do one a year. I said that'll be good, like one a year. And he took off with like I don't even know how often he posted. There's Quad Neptune, Super Mario Logan. Other than that, like I
Familiar with
really can't.
Kumar though, right? You never heard of them?
No, I know you mentioned the name, but like I hadn't. Maybe I had seen a little, like a thumbnail or something. It wasn't really part of like when I was watching YouTube. A lot of what's funny, like so I know like a lot of people watch plush videos and stuff, but
Mm-hmm.
the kind of stuff that I would watch would be like it was like a GTA mod with
Mm.
like Back to the Future. People were doing that. It was just back in like 2007 and stuff.
Yeah.
People were like modding GTA with Back to the Future, and it had like the
Whoa.
DeLorean in it. It had like the hoverboard, and I thought it was so cool. I would just watch the videos. Like I was just hooked on that, and I would watch like as many as I could. And they would be doing nothing. They'd just be driving around, and then they'd travel through time and stuff. And the mod
Mm.
had all the cool stuff with it. Plush videos were really not something that I was like watching, but I enjoyed the idea of putting one together and doing the voices as best I could. The closest thing, like with making a film with having multiple actors, I guess, like plush and stuff, and changing the camera angle and all that kind of stuff, which you can do with live action, but it's a little bit easier with plush because you're kind of like you're bigger than the set. You
Exactly.
can kind of move stuff around, do all these crazy angles, and do different voices and things like that, and really kind of tell a story.
Yeah, the thing is, you can also do live action too, but the thing is, like the camera, you gotta like film it at like a certain angle to get it right. Filming plush videos is just easy too, except if you want like a background, something, you gotta like a green screen background. You like I said, I was at the time I was making Plush Troopers Journey, and all my stuff was
Hmm.
gonna be green screen. Again, I would have to
Yeah.
like probably buy a blue screen or a green screen and stuff, and just kind of like
Hmm.
think of what's gonna match in with the video. But the thing is though,
Yeah.
it's like live action, and it's kind of expensive because you gotta like think of what to put in the video as well. But it's also as
Hmm.
if like you have more shots you can put with the plush, but you can also do the same exact thing with live action. With live action, that you have to get it at a good angle.
Plush videos can be easy to make. Most of the SpongeBob videos, they were all filmed in one location and in the kitchen and stuff. And the
Yeah,
way that our kitchen was set up, it was perfect with like going underneath and having space above and all that kind of stuff because it was like an island. I'll be honest, when I was filming macaroni and cheese and hot dog, those, because they were like on the road and stuff, they were like out in different locations and stuff. I was trying to branch out and do different areas. That's tough because
that is very
you
difficult.
like
Yeah.
if you have all your stuff in one place and you're filming, it's like, hey, cool. If you're
Mhm.
like, okay, I gotta bring all the equipment that I need, the tripod, the camera, the plush that I need, you end up I put it in a storage bin, but you end up
Mm.
like moving it around in the hot sun and like you're doing stuff and you hope there's nobody around kind of thing and you try to do your best with it. And then if you're trying to get a good take and the take's not happening, like it can be a passion project for sure. There are ways to make it a little bit like if you think things out, which I don't always think things out before I just start. Like, okay, I'm gonna film this, and then it ends up being like, oh, this is way harder than I thought it was gonna be.
That's
Even
interesting. That's very interesting, man. That
yeah,
sounds like
yeah.
fun too.
There's a lot. It's yeah. It's like the SpongeBob quote. His mostly his sweat, Mr. Krabs. Hard work, perseverance, and sweat, but mostly his sweat. It was like that. Like that's I've definitely thought of that while I was filming outdoors at times.
You always thought of
But
that
yeah,
quote. That's a great quote, man. One of the most iconic quotes was that one. Definitely a
it
good
is.
quote. This is related to your channel. What's the Dinosaur Party and Dinosaur comedy sketches? Wasn't an inspiration from Dinosaur Office Nintendo 3DS short.
Okay, so I did a little research. You let me know you were gonna ask that beforehand.
Yeah.
And so College Humor had made Dinosaur Office in 2012.
Mhm.
Okay. And I was a pretty big College Humor fan. I watched like Power Thirst. Rocket Skateboard is definitely inspired by that. Well, there's a company called Picnic Face that was inside of College Humor, and they've made a lot of funny stuff. They're one of my big inspirations too. Yeah, so College Humor put that one out with the
Hmm.
3DS and all that. And I'm
Yeah.
sure I had seen it, but I didn't make Dinosaur Party until 2017, almost 5 years later. And I'm sure like it was in my subconscious. The title like is can't really, there's nothing to say there. Is Dinosaur Party, Dinosaur Office. I wasn't thinking about it when I made it that it was the same, but I think I remember later on being like, oh man, like the titles are so similar. I rewatched it recently, and I'd say the big difference is the joke is like, okay, so for College Humors, it's they're this and they're doing stuff they're doing, and then the dinosaur busts in and he says like he needs a report on the desk, and then he starts eating the other dinosaur. But I would say with us, we took it a little more like I always thought it was interesting that at school they had talked about the different ways that dinosaurs got wiped out on the earth.
Yeah.
And I thought it would be so funny if it was like if they were having a party like when that happened. Cause just like I don't know if you watch like Fantasia and stuff. There's like the dinosaurs getting wiped out, and
Yeah.
it shows like what they were doing and stuff. And it's like they're looking for water and all that. And that'd be funny if they were just having a party. Like they're in the middle, they're having a great time. Like they're dancing to this music, which I found in a Goodwill in a
Hmm.
record. I saw the album cover and I said, "Oh man, this looks great." And then I listened to and I found that track Java by Al Hurt,
Huh.
And I was like, oh man. And I just said, well, let's speed it up a little bit. I thought that was the funniest part of the video was when the music started playing and they were all dancing. I thought that was like amazing. But
Honestly, that was a good part.
I
I
had
loved it.
seen, yeah, no, I love that. I'd seen these toys in the dollar store back in 2016 or something like that. And I was with my friend John, who's in Wacky Wake Up. He's the one who drives the car. I saw these and I was like, oh my God. Yeah, the facial expressions on the dinosaurs were so funny. And I just said, like, I got to do something with these. I said, like, I don't know what, but like, I think that's just like, what kind of voice would this one have? And I'd be like, hey, like, I said, that'll be perfect. So I bought them all up and then I started working on the video and I made the little set and everything and put it together. I'll be honest with you, I think it was actually after I was like either done with the video or done editing or I was far along that I usually do this. I usually YouTube search if anything is similar to my videos in title or concept. I try like
Hmm.
Monopoly. I did that where I looked up funny Monopoly video or funny Monopoly sketch or something like that just to kind of see if
Hmm.
anyone else had done it. But I remember
Hmm.
I did that after I'd done, and I was like, oh shoot, like that's right. Like College Humor had like a whole dinosaur series, and I was like, oof. And I was like, well, I can't remember if I had named it. I don't think I saw that and then named it. I think I had named it already and then saw that. So it might have been after I had uploaded it. But I remember that feeling. I remember going, oof, like this is similar. I think there's enough difference though that it's like its own. Like it doesn't feel like it's like a ripoff or like I'm trying to add to
I
it
don't
or
think it's a
anything.
ripoff at all. Honestly, I think yours is very original from what I can see. Because I honestly, like a long time ago, I've seen that one. It was one of my favorite videos to date. Was that one, the
Thank
dinosaur
you. Yeah,
party one? Always
same.
loved the
Yeah,
voices,
I
bro. They were
that was
funny, man.
yeah, I actually did spend a little bit of time trying to figure out what they would sound like and what kind of character they would be. I love the T-Rex, man. He's great for a one-liner. I think I overused him a little bit in Dinosaur Construction. I thought about
Mm.
it later. I was like, probably should have pulled back a little bit on him. Like the way he first appears, he barges in the door and he says like, "I gotta work in the morning." I just love the idea of that. Just a funny character.
Yeah, he wasn't a bad character. He's pretty funny. They were all pretty funny actually in their own way because they had like
Thank
such
you.
such unique voices and like the storytelling was like it was so good. And I've saw the construction one too. Like and like you said, the music. That honestly, I thought that part fit well with just the voices because they're all just talking, having a good time, and that music just playing. Then they have no idea what's gonna happen. It's like, oh my God, man.
Yeah.
It's like that was just crazy, man. That honestly, that was a good video. Like they're both pretty good videos. But yeah, I have to say, yeah, it's very inspirational. Well, kinda, I'd say. Well, it's your own work, but I can see it as a little inspiration because that college humor video was funny, but you did it like in your own take, like very creative way. As this theirs is like an
Yeah.
office type of video, like they did from the Office show. Their version's kind of like the Office show from the Office. It's kind of like an outtake of that show, and so they kind of just copied
Yeah.
that but put dinosaurs instead.
I tell
Uh,
you, I won't ever make one called Dinosaur Off where they're in an office building. I thought it was fun that they were in doing construction work
yeah,
and that they were camping and that they were having a party and stuff.
yeah,
And I originally wanted to have each episode end with them get another way of them getting wiped out. The first
yeah,
one's a meteor, another one's a volcano, which are all ways in which they theorize that's how they got killed. And I was thinking like maybe we could do the ocean rising or something. I made for a sequel, but the reason why I wanted to do a prequel was
mm,
because I liked the characters so much. I didn't want it to end yet. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
if I end up going that direction. I just enjoyed those characters and I enjoyed just everything that went with it that I said like, hey, let's keep this going. Let's not just end this series yet.
Yeah, it was a good way to keep the series going with like the first off dinosaur party, and then you got construction, the camp video. Those were like good ways to keep the series going. What episode inspired you to make the SpongeBob skit videos? What was your favorite episode of SpongeBob?
My favorite episode of SpongeBob, like even when I was young, was the Krusty Krab training video. For sure. That is like, and that's the one I just quoted. Actually, I actually wanted to make that video for my high school. I was going to be welcome to Boca High because I loved that video so much that I wanted to do a similar thing for my high school. I don't think we had time to do it. You got to be a little quick with doing videos for school. Yeah, that one especially. And then I think what really inspired me to do it was, well, there was one video made by Charlie the Unicorn guy. It was a Cracklin Oat brand, and it was like puppets, and they were eating cereal and they were going crazy. And the format was very similar. I saw that; it was one of my favorite videos. And I said, well, why don't I do this similar with SpongeBob characters? I said, I think I could do the voices pretty good. I have all the toys. I said, it's fun. And at the time when I was making FCCD, nothing was like similar to what we were talking about earlier. This was now 2014. I didn't really have any videos that were home run hitters. I didn't really have anything popular. Say we had stuff that was funny, and we were getting better at being funny and better at making a video and communicating the joke behind the video. We weren't doing that great. So like I just said like, hey, like this one will just kind of be fun. Film for an hour in my kitchen. Let's just go for it. And with that one is in the back of my mind, the Cracklin' Oat brand video. And then I just said like, let's just go crazy with these puppets. And I didn't even really like the most famous one, the Have a Bowl, Mr. Squidward. I didn't even really write that line like it was supposed to be anything special. A lot of times when you write, you have jokes. You say, okay, here's
Yeah.
a joke, here's a joke, here's a joke. But that was honestly like, I think I had it in my mind. I wanted to break the fourth wall at some point in the video, by showing that it's like they're plush.
Yeah.
It's Squidward, but he's going to fall and he's not going to do anything. I said like, well, let's have Mr. Krabs just pass him a bowl, and like I think I just did it one take, and it just the line I was like, well, what should he say? I was like, I don't have a bowl, Mr. Squidward. Like, what else is he gonna say? And so he just okay, cool. And then I slid the thing across the table, and like that was it. Like history was made. I think it was the way that it just happened. It kind of fell on the edge, and then it just toppled over, and then I don't know. It was just I think it. I got very lucky that time, maybe blessed with that, but like that really like just I don't know. Kids loved that. I loved it. I
Yeah.
thought it was funny, and it just took off from there.
Were you like expecting
But
it to like become a meme though? Like the Have a Bowl, Mr. Squidward. Like,
no, oh, absolutely not. I was just making videos. If anything, it was 2014 October. So when I first posted the video, I was out of high school. I think I was just starting college, and I just posted the video, and it had 700 views over about a month, so
hmm.
more than most. And then someone posted it to iFunny, which was another website that I guess it was like a funny videos website. It took off suddenly. Like in that November, it just went from 700 views. It just kept climbing. Like every day it
Wow.
was more views than the day before. And then I think by the end of the year, it had like, let's say 15,000 views. I could give you the numbers, but my phone would take too long to load them. But it
No,
just
you're
started
good.
to go. Like it just took off. I think it had like 400,000 views by springtime or something, or summer, and then by
Huh.
a year, I don't know. The numbers were just going crazy, and I had never experienced that in my life. And I just thought, I was like, hey, I made a really funny video, I guess, right? That's all I was thinking. Years later, I had really thought about it and realized, and I said, well, you know what? All the other stuff I made was just kind of like of original, like whatever I'd came up with. And this one was SpongeBob. And I said, well, maybe that's why. I'm like, maybe because it's SpongeBob. Maybe that's
Yeah.
why it's so popular, because kids love SpongeBob. I love SpongeBob. When I was young and I was on a kick of something, I just wanted to watch that character or that. I didn't care if what else was popping up. If I was a big SpongeBob at the time, like let's say for 3 months or something, I couldn't get it out of my head. That's all I would look up. Like, and so I understand exactly how that translates to a young viewer. You're on that kick and you just want to keep finding more videos like that. So I said, well, let's do one a year. I said, if this is
Hmm.
popular, I'll still do other videos, and this will just help boost the channel. And then out came Macaroni and Cheese, which I was very surprised by. I was like, man, I actually thought that cereal looked better cinematically than macaroni and cheese, but kids love macaroni and cheese. I don't know. They really like that. And then fruit snack. And then by that time I said, well, let's like really put a nice ending here. And like it took 3 months full time to make the SpongeBob thing. I think it turned out pretty good. I like the message. There's a lot of SpongeBob stuff out there. I mean, I don't know if you've noticed, but the new movie that they've been promoting, they went all out. This is more promotion for a movie than I think I've ever seen in my whole
I
life.
know, dude. I've never seen that
There
much
was
of
like
a
a bus
promotion,
stop that
bro.
they had for the movie. We went to the movies last night, and they had SpongeBob cups and SpongeBob icy machine, like with the pictures and
Wow.
stuff on it. They had
Oh
so much
wow.
stuff. I was blown away by how much they had. To know that it's like there's a balance to that. There's a balance to like how much you can ask your parents for, or how much you can
Yeah.
fill your room with, and to say that they can kind of take over a little bit, and to throw Plankton in there at the end and say that he's using it for mind control and stuff is kind of fun. But that it's like, hey, like in a way that there's other things in life that are important too, but that can definitely take our attention. All these cool
Sorry.
things.
I was saying it's like they attracted their liking to SpongeBob because oh, he's on everything, oh, he's in the show, and then that made them want to buy all the SpongeBob stuff. Parents are probably like, oh man, why is there cereal now? We gotta keep buying more of this and this and this and this, and they're like, what? Like, why are they doing this?
Yeah.
It's probably what they were thinking.
It was funny to kind of point, because that's not something a lot of people have mentioned before, but there's the whole world of like the SpongeBob plush videos, and same thing, Mario plush and all those,
Oh yeah,
and but in some ways it kind of is those companies making money off of every time they're releasing. It was like Star Wars too, was
yeah.
the more merchandise they released, the more people bought it. They're just like, hey, this is a cash cow, just keep going. To kind of point that out, I thought I was in a very good position to do that because of the popularity of the videos. To be able to give a little bit of a moral or a lesson from it or takeaway, I thought I was very privileged to be able to do that.
That is great, man, because
Yeah.
a lot of YouTubers don't really like do that as much. Like put a message at the end or something. Like a lot of them don't do that anymore. It's kind of weird that they don't.
Yeah.
They always
Yeah.
put like subscribe or like, do this, do
Yeah,
that.
Yeah. It is a little bit of a lost art. I think primarily because, if not to say that if someone does this, but if we focus too much on just promoting ourselves or just making money from doing this, it kind of loses its reason to why we do it. If we're making videos to tell a story for people to enjoy and things like that, I never, I mean, I think I did once, like in the very beginning. I never really put like please subscribe in my videos because I'm pretty sure everybody already knows how to do that. And for me, when I found a channel that I really enjoyed, I would either subscribe or not. No one needed to tell me whether or not to subscribe. I knew to do that if I wanted to.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
not like the
Which is
subscribe button's not there.
good. It's good business. The videos are really going to stand on their own. It's really about the videos.
It's more like the give and take of inspiration than just
yeah.
like trying to push yourself into promoting what you want is best for the viewership. Instead of pushing the viewership, give them what they want or do something that you want to do instead of like trying to promote it, trying to like push people to watch it. You should just take it easy, I say.
Because it feels like
Just
you're
to
Yeah.
forcing
give
them
them.
to like subscribe and stuff, and it's like, oh, you gotta subscribe or else like it's like that. You gotta like give it
Hmm.
ease and like put it at their face. But like they already know how to do that, so it's
Yeah.
like what's even the point in putting that
Yeah.
out?
And nowadays, the way that they have subscriptions is different. Like before, back in like the early 2010s, if you were subscribed to something, it would pop up first.
Huh.
Now, I don't even really know where to find my subscription. Like, I think I'd have to look at the phone, like look tabs or whatever, wherever it is on the YouTube homepage to actually find my subscriptions, because like I think they kind of feed them through when you're scrolling on the front page of YouTube. I think
Mm-hmm.
they kind of throw subscriptions in there. It's not
Yeah.
like it used to be. I would always check all my subscriptions first and then watch other videos and stuff. I think the whole following and subscribers is they're really pushing it to the side.
Yeah.
Sounds like it a lot because it's just like sometimes I even notice this. Like you look for your subscriptions and you find a channel that you didn't even subscribe to, and they just randomly put that in there. That's just pretty weird.
Yeah,
Seems kind of
yeah.
odd.
YouTube's doing some stuff now that I wonder, kind of question, like, why are they doing this? Maybe they changed hands with things recently, or they're trying AI stuff that isn't fully ready yet.
They're seeing if
If
they can make more money.
Yeah, if
Yeah,
I could tell YouTube anything, it would just do it the way it used to do it. It was so great. Like it really was.
exactly,
Go
man.
back to 2007 and 2010. It was really good. They had it down. Now it's a little all over the place. They got rid of the trending tab
They
over
did?
the summer. Yeah, so if you go to the little compass at the top and there's different categories and stuff,
Yeah.
it used to be whatever the most popular videos were on all of YouTube would be posted there in like the last month or whatever. Now it's just categories. It's just like gaming, yeah, whatever. I would say comedy, but there's not even a comedy one. I noticed that. Whatever. Gaming, travel, blogs, things like that. They changed it up quite a bit.
I don't know why they keep doing that. They keep making all these policy changes, keep changing the UI. I mean, they're doing some pretty sketchy stuff.
And it's either
Yeah.
people get offensive about a certain thing or it's like there should be a change. That's what some people want, but mostly it's just YouTube to see if they want to if they can be better than anything else nowadays. YouTube was the golden age during those times back in the day to where they had
Mhm.
nothing like that. It was just
Mm,
pure like golden, like all videos were just like it's not as promoting as it was back then, but now it's more like promoting, making money, being greedy about certain things, changing the ways how viewership should be or
yeah,
like your subscriptions. It's kind of a mess. Back then, it really wasn't a mess. It was more like straightforward. You can do that. You can subscribe to this person. You can subscribe to that person. Now it's just like, oh, you should subscribe to that person. Oh, you should watch this video and give you like about like 5 ads in a row.
that is
Yeah,
so true, man.
I know they got.
Ads are crazy, and like they have them like even on a live stream too. Like if you go on the live stream, oh, there's an ad right there, right there, right at your face. Like it's like you can't stay away from the ads
Yeah.
for 5 minutes.
Why did you choose to name Fried Chili Cheese Dogs? And was there a
Um.
different name for the channel before this channel was chosen? And another thing on top of that. Is it because you liked fried chili cheese dogs?
So we had made the name in July of 2008. Like I think it was the same day we came up with the script, and we wanted to have a name that was like the show was always something different, and always something random, and random humor was really big back then. And we said, well, let's like come up with the most random thing to have as like the name of the show. And my friend said like a chili cheese dog, and then I said, well, how about a fried chili cheese dog? It was kind of cool because we both got to patch the name together. Yeah, like it just kind of went from there. We made the logo on his computer. That draft got deleted or whatever, and then I had to redo it. But yeah, we made the logo and stuff, and then from there it just kind of stuck. We just said, well, that's kind of like it's like the name of a band. We're just gonna stick with that. Originally the name was just of the channel was just my email address, like I think a lot of
Mm.
people's are. I said, well, fried chili cheese dogs is cool. I never thought about the length of it. Later on, I was like, yeah, I guess we should have like FCCD, like shortened version. Yeah, I think the name stuck. A lot of people got it confused. Like I told a friend about it. He said, oh, I tried to watch your show, but I couldn't remember the name. He's like, was it like hot chili cheese fries or something like that? And I was like, oh, like, I'm like, maybe it is a hard name to remember. But yeah, we decided even with that, we decided to stick with it. And do I like fried chili cheese dogs? We did try to make one. If you watch FCCD tapes, which I think is like the third video on our channel right now, we do make fried chili cheese dogs in that. We just thought it was a very like we liked it because it was a very like American name. I don't know if our
Very,
videos are like junk food, but kind of goes with it. It's a fun food. It's it's fun videos. It's connected to it a little bit.
I could say
and
so in every way. It's very inspirational name. It's very creative name, and I mean, yeah, it would be like American fried chili cheese dogs.
yeah,
And there's
fried
never a
fried
channel
chili
named
cheese
that
dogs is
at all, man.
American,
Yeah.
American.
Like the FCCD, like it's shortened out. Like it sounds good, even when it's shortened out, even when it's not shortened out too. I could see the confusion with that because first when I heard about your channel, I was like, fried chili cheese dogs. What? Like who's telling me about? I've never heard of a channel named Fried Chili Cheese Dogs, and I'm like, what? Like, huh? That's odd because like, are they talking about like actual fried chili cheese dogs or is it just the channel name? And I'm like, I went onto the channel and was like, oh, that's just the name. And I'm like, that is such a good name, dude. And I was like, wow, that is a great name.
Thanks, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's definitely like
Uh,
funnier names that we came up with later, but like once we had that name, like we were like, okay, let's just stick with it because like sure there could be other names that if we mix two things together, it would be really funny to as a name, but we said, well, we got to stick with this. It's like I've heard recently a lot of people are doing like the boneless pizza thing, and I was like, if only we had thought of something like that, like something funny that two things that don't go together and as a name. I said, well, that's our name. We'll stick to it.
Honestly, the name is
boneless
funny,
pizza.
and it's just like even if you stick with boneless pizza, I mean that or whatever, like you just said, that would have been even funnier too. But this is like it's like an engaging name, but it's also in a fun way, and it's like shows already from the name and itself and everything that you're gonna find wacky humor on the channel, and I honestly that's
Yeah.
why I think the name is so good, and that's why
Thank,
I think you should not change it, but keep it actually keep the name, bro. It is
thank
good, bro. Keep it.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, dude. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. What's the best video you enjoyed making? Out of all the videos on the channel, what is the best video that you found the most enjoyment out of making?
So we always talked about how Darth Vader is back. We had the
Yeah.
most fun with. It was a beautiful day. It was December, and it was nice and cool out down here. and we really just like we had fun because it wasn't a stringent script. It was kind of like loosey goosey, and we kind of like encouraged blooper kind of stuff to happen. And well, it was the five of us, I think, or Brandon was there too, but he's not like really in the video, but he was still there. We had a ball. We're just having a great time. Monopoly is probably my favorite video because again, it was really was the five of us. It was hot up in my room. It was hard to film. There were a lot of elements with it. But yeah, Darth Vader's back was just a great time. And the bloopers, which I think are in cheesy drips, it's so much fun to rewatch those.
Those
My
are
favorite
really
one,
good ones.
my favorite one is the SpongeBob one where he's like, "Have a bowl, Mr. Squidward."
That was definitely our big one. When I film a plush video, it's usually just me. So it's like I'm kind of just I got my script. It's like a checklist. Okay, got that shot done, get that shot done. It's a little more straightforward. But when I'm filming with like all the guys and stuff, you have tons of fun. It's like you're surrounded by your friends, and you're filming a video. You got a little thing to do, and you're laughing and joking throughout.
Honestly, that's why I thought those videos were good because you were with your friends. I mean, you guys had a good time making the video, and you guys had bloopers along the way. You're having a good time while making videos, and that's honestly what YouTube should be. I was having a good time making
Yeah,
videos.
I absolutely agree.
When you were making the Have a Bowl, Mr. Squidward videos, how hard after you broke the glass and the bowls that you broken up, how hard did you have to like clean up that mess after you were done with the videos?
With SpongeBob cereal, the first one that had to have Mr. Squidward, or like all of them, or
Probably all of them, like the ones that you made a mess on.
okay. Yeah, the first one, I think I only used 2 boxes of cereal, and I don't think any glass broke on the first one. So like that
Hmm.
only literally, I think the footage of me at the end cleaning up was about maybe a couple minutes cleaning up. That was about it. The macaroni and cheese one was definitely a mess because macaroni and cheese is wet and sticky, and the bowls did break for that one and stuff, ceramic bowls. And then fruit snacks, that one had a lot just stuff all over the place. The have a bowl miss cheeks, I think that was like the helmet broke and the bowl broke too that time. That was the same bowl, I think. I think the bowl that broke and have a bowl miss cheeks was the bowl from the first one that didn't
Hmm.
break. That was the same bowl from the first one. And then basically each video got messier and messier because that's what the audience was quoting and throwing in the comments and stuff and saying those were their favorite moments. So I just tried to make sure that there was plenty of the mess making part. So like, really cleaning up, it's like a pleasure to clean up, knowing that like, okay, so when you film something and you got the shot good and you're like, oh, and you look at the camera and you're like, okay, like, everything's good. Like you rewatch the clip and stuff, you're like, perfect. When you're cleaning up, it's like a breeze. Like you enjoy it because you're like, you just got like the shot, like one of the 5 shots or 6, however many shots you do like that where something breaks or something. And if it came out good, like you feel great. It's really difficult when you film something, if something breaks or whatever, and the shot didn't come out good. That's when it's like, oh man, those are definitely harder to clean up.
It was so great that, yeah, you had a breeze just cleaning it up. And I'm like, yeah, I deserve this. I deserve cleaning up this because that was the perfect shot. That was like the perfect thing really wanted to happen. I don't care if it was messed up or anything. That's how I wanted it. Mr. Chili, do you have any new videos or projects that you're currently working on? Are you like working on something new, or are you currently working on something that people wouldn't really expect? Like just in general, are you like making something new?
Yes. So I just put up Disaster, which is me and Hunter video, sketch video. And I have already filmed and I have it in ready to edit. But because of Christmas and traveling and stuff, I have to take a couple weeks. And you guys are the first to know this of anybody. But I am going to make a Super Mario video, and not to copy Super Mario Logan. I feel it's different enough. The next video is going to come out in February, and it is going to have Mario in it.
It's like
I
the
am
first Mario introduction on your channel.
Yeah, it is. And I have a little bit of a plan for it. Like with other videos, if this one does well, it's going to take another couple weeks to work on. And you guys definitely let me know what you guys think if it's too similar to Super Mario Logan, but it is a plush video and it is a Super Mario video. So I'm definitely not trying to copy him at all, other than the fact that it's Mario and it's plush.
Oh,
But
trust us. We've seen a lot of other people who tried copying Super Mario Logan.
Yeah, I
We
don't think
wouldn't
you'll
we
copy him,
wouldn't really
bro.
Yeah, we wouldn't really think that you would copy him. I
No,
mean,
your
you
channel's
have
very
your own
original
jokes.
content.
Yeah,
but you let me know. It'll be out in a little bit right away, but I'll definitely put little teasers and stuff up for it.
I'm excited for that. I would
Me
see
too.
like all the original jokes and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm very like skeptical of the video, but honestly, I'm like real excited for it, so I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, no, definitely.
That's a
Big
little
thing.
tease for the viewers.
Yeah, guys, that is
Yeah,
what's gonna happen on this channel pretty soon.
yeah.
So yeah, stay tuned for that. Who is your favorite SpongeBob character?
Well, I thought about this question, and I did want to say that SpongeBob is a very like unique show, especially like on Nickelodeon. At the time that SpongeBob came out, there were shows like Fairly Odd Parents, Jimmy Neutron,
Mm-hmm.
Cat Dog, Scooby Doo. You know what I mean? Well, Scooby Doo's older,
Yeah,
but and the thing about those cartoons was it was like they were the same episode over and over again, and they just kind of plugged in different things. Like for example, Jimmy Neutron. I don't know if you guys ever watched that, but
I've seen that. It's pretty
um,
good.
it's always the same story. It's always he has an invention, or he doesn't like the way things are. He's like down about something. He makes an invention to make things better. It backfires, and then he has to undo what the invention did. Fairly Odd Parents was Timmy doesn't like the way things are. He makes a wish. The wish kind of goes well. It backfires, and then he has to undo what the wish did. And Cat Dog was always that they were unhappy with the way things were. They tried to change things, and then they like got back together again. They were always at odds with each other. Scooby Doo is always the monster. They're always running away from monster. But the thing that I loved about SpongeBob was that every episode, no matter which you pick an episode, it's always something completely different from the last episode. You may have Mr. Krabs being cheap and you may have Squidward being annoyed with SpongeBob. But other than that, like you never knew what was going to happen on a new episode of SpongeBob. It was always something completely original, completely different. And I think that's part of what made it such a great show. And that goes to the writing. There were many writers in the first 3 seasons, but whoever they were, like they really like understood storytelling. They were just fantastic. So I would say my favorite character is the writers of the show, but I do think SpongeBob as a character, to have a main character that's a cartoon that isn't so stereotypically that character is really cool. The fact that SpongeBob's always optimistic, or at least for the most part, he's optimistic. He doesn't give up. He kind of looks at the brighter side of things and he's always cheerful and stuff is really cool. On certain episodes, it's done in such a way where you do see SpongeBob kind of get down, but you also see him pick himself back up or someone else comes to help him pick himself back up. And it's really cool. Just as a character, SpongeBob just is he's incredible. They've done so much with him.
A really incredible character in the show. They've had such a long run for a long time.
I'm surprised that they're still going on with SpongeBob.
I think what really did it was the fact that it was good from the start and it lasted like 3-4 years really good with the movie and everything. I think
Yeah.
that like really pushed it to be as good as it is. And then you have shows like The Simpsons and stuff that are still running. And
Mhm.
The Simpsons and SpongeBob are kind of going through a similar thing where it was really good at a time and then recently it's kind of fallen a bit. But
Yeah.
that's going to happen with any long running show. You have to hire new people to write and you have to hire new people to come up with the stories and stuff.
Exactly. I mean, that's kind of what the issue was with the movie. Hear me out. I think the rumor was that they were bringing back the original showrunners from the old seasons to do the movie, if I'm not correct.
Mhm.
But I'm thinking that was the deal because the movie is based on Flying Dutchman. So
Mhm.
maybe they were had some tie into bringing them back to do the movie. I don't know if that's true or not.
Derek Dryman, who was I think he was the story director. He directed the story or something like that, or the creative director. I don't know what it's called. He was the director of this movie. So yes, there was a guy who worked on the first 3 seasons that was directing this one. But I don't know
Huh.
how much more involvement was past that. I know that the voice of Plankton, Mr. Lawrence, he did a lot of writing too, and he did the
Yeah.
voice of Plankton and other characters. But they were both present for that.
Who's your favorite character that you got the voice in your channel?
I would say my like most fun I had voicing a character I think is was Marvin the Martian from Space Jam 2. I always loved doing Marvin the Martian's voice. But I do have to say when it comes to original characters, I think Jim from Jim's Hot Pizza, I think that is the most fun because I got to kind of create that voice. I kind of got to put it together and I had this whole character background for it and Jim from Jim's Hot Pizza because Jim, I really got to do like a character background for him. I really got to do like my research, and in college they taught us to do a lot of that stuff when you create a character, and so I really got to like have a feel for that character was like, and all that kind of stuff.
Like, would you say like that restaurant video? I forget the name of the title. The one with the chef shrimp. I don't remember his name. Was it like was his name like something
Oh,
shrimp or
Shrimpy. Yeah,
something?
yeah, yeah.
Shrimpy, yeah. Was that fun
Yeah,
to
yeah.
voice? Did you have fun
Oh,
like
yeah.
voicing that
Yeah,
one?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, a lot of the voices come from either people we knew, or like a lot of the voices, a lot of the inspiration, a lot of the joke stuff that we did back in like middle school and high school. We used to joke around and have fun like all the time. And the Shrimpy character was a voice we used to do back in high school. And so I kind of like just use that for this. And I like the idea of having a character that has a bunch of rules that he wants you to follow, and just the way he explains it is like funny. Kind of like the way a teacher explains things and says like why kids shouldn't do certain things like in PE or whatever.
Yeah.
Like make sure you don't do that, and it's and then they explain why it's bad to do, and then like, it's just, I don't know, it's just kind of funny that like it's just as a concept I thought it was just like, I was like, I'd love to see that.
Is that like what like inspired you to make the Shrimpy video from like past stuff?
Yeah, a lot of the jokes, a lot of the characters, that's it. Experience something in your life, and then you say like, boy, that's kind of funny. Like I really like that concept, or I really like that struggle, or I really like that story. And then you just kind of like take notes, things that happen throughout your life, and you draw inspiration from that. And it's really cool, like to put that together, and then in a video that other people can relate to, and they can enjoy.
What advice could you give to your YouTuber that is starting out on YouTube?
My initial answer to this was run, like run the other way. Like, don't get into this. But no, I'm just kidding. So it depends. I think there's two paths. There's one, if you say I'm just doing this because I love it, I would say go for it. I would say if you just want to do it because you love to do it, then put your ideas out there, have fun, call your friends up. Don't be afraid to ask someone to be in a video. And a lot of times with my videos, like they turned out better than I thought they were going to when I originally imagined it. It's a pure joy. Like go for it. I would say on the other side of the coin, if you're looking to do this for money, and if you're looking to do this as a career, it's possible. The only thing is, it's very difficult to actually do. We hear and we think about, at least I do from time to time, is the success stories in any case, whether it's an actor, whether it's Mr. Beast, whether it's anybody who's doing well in anything, Michael Jordan, like you name it. You pick anything, there's always like someone who's really good at it and someone who is making money from it. But that's not the case for a lot of people. Not everybody's Michael Jordan. Not everybody's Mr. Beast. They've figured out a way to either they got very lucky at the time, or they figured out a way to draw an audience, or they figured out a way to do things well enough where it buzz. It's very hard to, how there's one hit wonders. Like there's a band that they have one song that's really popular,
Yeah.
and like you got to think, even though they only have that one song, there was a whole backstory to all those people to just make that one popular song. And they could have 2 or 3 other albums,
Yeah.
but nobody really talks about any of the other songs. There's just this one song that people know about. And those people practiced instruments, and they did all this work, and they studied, and they practiced a lot together, and they missed birthdays for other people, and they lived their life. But they put a lot of effort into this, and they maybe had a good payday at one point, but it may not last a lifetime.
It
So I would say
takes
to anybody,
it takes
sorry,
dedication and time and a lot of effort if you really want to do it.
yes, absolutely, it does. And I would say to anyone, this is my best advice. I would say finish school. Try to get your 4-year degree in college. If I'm talking to a high school, college age group, or even middle school group, or I would say finish school, because if you don't, it is very hard to get a job with a 2-year, even if you get a 2-year degree. I have a 2-year degree from FAU, school where we film a lot of stuff. You don't get like really great jobs with just a 2-year degree or a high school degree, but you get
Mm.
higher paying jobs with a 4-year degree. So if you get your career squared away and you say, okay, I got my career, I'm good. You know what I mean? I invested in my early 20s and I'm good to go. I can make money. I have my job. I'm making my parents happy because I'm not asking to borrow money, or I'm not using their stuff or whatever. If you're able to do that and be self-sufficient, then like it's good. It's going to help out a lot in life. But yeah, I would say that. I would say you can take it seriously, you can do it professionally. If your parents fund you to do it, to make videos and do all that stuff, go ahead. life kind of happens. You know what I mean? Even if you're
Yeah.
making videos full tilt and stuff, life's going to happen. There's going to be things with family members, all kinds of stuff. The videos can be very important, but I would have to say, like, to make sure that at that young age, I know it's very like, ooh, that would be so cool to be like a YouTuber that does well. And I think someone for like me, I'm kind of in the middle. I'm not like I have completely no audience, but I'm not a millionaire from this. You know what I mean? I'm not even
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
100,000. I've made a little bit of money from it, mostly because of the SpongeBob stuff. Like I would say I'm perfectly in between like being like a super professional at this and like doing this as a passion project. And I would say to anybody who wants to do this seriously, not just videos every now and then, but who really wants to dive in and do this, I would say make sure you have your way of earning money squared away and then do this as much as you can. But I'm telling you, I know some of the people I work with or other people I've talked to who are actors or whatever, and it is a struggle. It becomes a very real struggle when you don't have money. You still feel the need to pour into it, and it just becomes difficult. And you go, oh man, like this isn't turning out the way I thought it was, but I want to keep going, but I physically can't because I need money to fund this. So that's why I would tell anyone, make sure that you are able to support yourself first, because your early 20s and stuff are going to go by pretty quick. It's
Yeah.
only like 4 years to go to college. But if you do that, especially early, it's going to be much worth it. 10 years down the line, 15, 20, 30 years down the line, you'll be glad that you did. The older I get now, at first I thought when I was 14 and I was 12 and I was making these videos, I thought all I need to do is make funny videos. And as long as I make funny videos and they're popular, that's all I need to do. Now I'm realizing that there's so much more behind the entertainment industry with movies and music and all that kind of stuff that I never even thought about. There's so much that when it comes to marketing, when it comes to negotiations, when it comes to deals, when it comes to contracts, when it comes to the stuff that you never think about, lawsuits or copyright infringement or all this kind of stuff. I never thought about that. I just thought, hey, let me just make videos. That'll be fun, and I'll make money easy. But really, over time, you go like, wow, there's so much more depth to this, and there's so much more I needed to know. Especially like with me being an actor, there were a lot of times where I was like, well, I want to be in a show. I want to audition for something. I went to school for acting, for theater. I said, well, let me get into an audition. And it's not as easy as I thought it was going to be. I thought it would show up, a little competition, and then you either get something eventually. But the more the time goes on, the more I see that it really is like a 1 in a million shot. That's why I do encourage people like to definitely make sure that you have your career squared away first. An associate's degree is kind of like a leap forward, but you didn't really
Mm.
get anywhere. If you don't then go for the 4 years, your 2 years doesn't really do a whole lot. When they hire people, they want you to have a 4-year master's degree in something, even if it's, I think, undecided or liberal arts or something. But there's a huge pay gap between a high school diploma and a 2-year degree, which is kind of the same. And then there's a leap to a 4-year degree where you're going to get paid an amount of money where you could actually live off of. You could have your own plate. You could be doing fine. But the high school diploma degrees and the associate's degrees don't really get you that far. YouTube is like, it's possible to make money, but it's really not. Like, the number is basically 1,000 views for $1. So if you get 1,000 views, you get $1. So if somebody has 1 million views, they got $1,000 from that video. And to be able to hit 1 million views is kind of hard, especially now with
Yeah.
YouTube. The numbers aren't what they used to be. Like I said, make sure your career is squared away. Even if it's something that you're like, hey, that's just what I do. I do my hobbies on the side. That's great. My dad
Yeah.
always told me, he said, the point of a college degree is just to prove to whoever you end up working for, or just to prove to whoever you apply for, that you can continue to do something that's hard. Like, that's it. It proves that you stick with it. You're going to stay at that job because you went through 4 years of school. You know how to apply hard work, because whether you're learning math, science, reading, doesn't matter. You have to do reports on it and you have to keep your grades up and all that. It shows that you can do it. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's really all they really do. Are you able to really complete large tasks and get things done and stuff like that? That's really all you're showing them at the end of the day, is it's a piece of paper that says that.
That's still greater than nothing, though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. And a lot of times you can work on YouTube and do other things. I was making YouTube videos while I was in college. Did a lot of stuff from 2014 to 2016 was all I was in between classes.
I can say that's the best advice that I've ever heard in a long time. Even that Waluigi guy, he gave the best advice even from the last episode, and this is top tier advice right here, guys. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yep.
pretty good.
And it leads on to our next question that goes alongside with this. Even if you're struggling with a lot, what is the best advice you could give anyone that is struggling with mental health? Because that
Yeah,
could like really affect everyone.
Yeah. So I would say first of all, just to be, I am not a doctor. I am not just legally saying this. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a anyone who is like of the government or something like that who has some sort of certificate in mental health. You know what I mean? So what I say is, this is my opinion. I would say that we live in a pretty crazy world, and we hear the things that go on in the news. We hear a lot of different opinions throughout our lives of what to think, how to think. Can be a lot. And especially, I think I found a lot in my early 20s. I went from being a kid to being someone who now is part of this world that to make decisions, you have to do things, and all that can be very overwhelming. Not so much from like the day-to-day stuff, but for me it was like these bigger questions that surrounded, as we walk through life and stuff like that. And for me, I found that like turning to God helped so much in so many ways. Like just the basic principles and things like that that you learn as you study it just helps so much. It gives you like a nice grounding, because a lot of times in life, it reminds me of the movie of Pinocchio, where Pinocchio kind of gets like taken alongside by the fox and stuff, who tells him like, hey, you should do this and you should try all these other things, and Pinocchio smokes a cigar and all that stuff. But in life, it's a small metaphor for the bigger things in life, that our decisions have consequences, our actions have consequences. It's worth taking a little bit of time to think about what we're doing in life and what kind of impact that we have on others. I would say if someone is experiencing like anxiety, like I was, panic attacks, anxiety, I would say like you can always just do your best to calm down. And like if you do believe in God, you can pray and you can talk to him at any time. He's always there. And you can always talk to other people. Don't be afraid to open up to other people about what you're going through. I think a lot of times in our minds there's something that tries to tell us like, oh, they're not going to understand, oh no, they might, and they might not understand. But you might, as you ask multiple people, you might find someone who does understand and who does know what you're going through. And I would say don't be afraid to go ahead and do it. It may not happen the first time. A lot of things in life don't happen on the first time. You have to keep trying. But like there is help out there, and when you talk to other people who a lot of times they're even are older, they will give you a perspective because they've been through, they know what it's like to be in their 20s, they know what it's like to be in their 30s, they know what kind of challenges come their way. And if you talk to people who are older, they have that experience, they have that wisdom, and that helped me a lot as I was trying to figure out my life and where I was, and how all this fit together. It helped me a lot to just be able to know that I could calm down, could talk to someone, and I could ask God for help if I really needed help. I mean, like to me, that's it right there. Unless you're going through a panic attack, unless you're going through like some very severe anxiety, and I don't mean just like being nervous before a play or something, because when I would do stage shows and stuff, I would get pretty nervous before I would go on
yeah,
stage. But for me, what I was experiencing was a lot past that. It was like, whoa, this was whoa. Like I didn't know, couldn't tell if it was a heart attack or what. And I was only like 21. And I was
uh,
like, what is this? Yeah. Unless you're going through it, it's very hard to explain, or it's very hard to experience. But for those who are going through that there is hope. There are other people who have been through that, and there's ways to be able to not struggle so much with mental health. And just in life, a lot of times, just keep things simple. Don't overthink things too much. Don't overdo it. Some things are not worth the mental effort to try to figure out. But yeah, like it's life is pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward. And as we take steps each day throughout it, like we're gonna learn a little bit more, and we're gonna know what to look out for today and for tomorrow because of yesterday. It's all there. We have to kind of ask for it sometimes.
And if you
that's
don't let
for
it
sure.
out there, no one out there is ever gonna know if you don't let it out.
No one's gonna know how
If
you're
you
Yeah,
don't
feeling.
show
yeah. Some people are very good at hiding their feelings, and some people are not so good. I have friends who, you know it if they're upset about something. You know it if something's on. They're going to talk about it. I have other friends that you won't know it. You'd have to ask, or it'll come out some other way. the way that we are, the way that we communicate, I think it's part of who we are to be able to talk to people and to be able to share with others our feelings. And our feelings matter. Your feelings
Yeah.
get hurt, or when you're experiencing something too overwhelming, that matters. There's value there. Some people will try to say, just forget about it. Maybe that's how they deal with it. Feelings, they matter. When your feelings get hurt, like there's value to that. And it's worth, trying your best to make others feel welcome, to make others feel like a friend. It's worth to do that. I know in the world we live in today, it's very like whenever you go anywhere, you walk anywhere, nobody really interacts. Nobody really says hello or even makes eye contact. And it's nice to, sometimes I try to practice this, just saying hello to people or saying, hey, good morning. You know what I mean? Like, good. Or ask a stupid question. Ask a question that, let's say you're at the checkout at the grocery store. Just to ask, like, hey, like, what time do you guys close tonight? Ask a question you already know the answer to, just to kind of say something, just to get a conversation going. And I always feel better when I interact with people. I would say that that's been very helpful for me the last few years. The next person you might meet might become your friend. You never know. Like the world sometimes can be closed off, but you never know. Like you might brighten someone's day up just by interacting with them. Think about the ways in which you first interacted with any of your friends. It was a little bit of a step of faith.
Yeah.
You didn't know them at the time, and you had to say something, and you said something, or sometimes you don't have to say something. And I think sometimes I go, man, I wonder if I would have been friends with so and so if I had just said something to them. Just ask them, hey, what's your favorite movie? Hey, what's your favorite show? Hey, did you hear about this or whatever? You never know.
Exactly. Yeah.
And one big message I put at the end of the videos now that I feel sums a lot of it up is keep on learning and growing with love. I try to put that at the end of every video because I feel like that kind of sums it up. Like if you do that, if you just keep looking at life as like, hey, there's something to learn here. There's like a humility in that that's saying like, I don't know everything and I'm open to learning more. Some people kind of walk around with like a know-it-all. Oh, no, I already know. But it's good to be like, hey, maybe there's something I can learn. And usually when I do that, I learn something new. And then just keep on learning and growing with love is do things that are nice, do things that are pleasant. Don't be angry all the time, or like don't think that hurting someone is the answer, or don't think that those people shouldn't exist or whatever. Like don't think that that's the answer. Like the answer is like, hey, like in Spider-Man No Way Home, maybe they can turn good, maybe things can get better, like maybe there's a way out of this that benefits all of us. I think that I try to put that in the end of each video. To me, that was the best advice I could think of.
Yeah.
That's the best thing that you ever could have done.
So you look to God for help and the answers, and you look to yourself to, like, if you have like something going on in your life, you go to Him for help, and if you're looking for
Yeah,
someone else to go to help, you go to that person. And I think that's great
yeah,
because it's like
yeah,
you're getting yourself out there, and it's like you've experienced a lot for your time, going through a lot of stuff, and for how far you've gotten, I'm gonna just say I'm real proud of you, dude. Like you've
thanks,
gotten this
man.
far, man, with just like life and stuff, and it's just it's not easy for people to just like go through what you've gone through in your life and stuff. And we all experience that every day. And for you, like, just giving the advice and like,
Yeah, one thing I've learned from that over the years is that a lot of people are closed off.
yeah,
They don't want to hear about it. I don't know why. Personally, I was always very curious about why were there so many different religions? Why do some people believe this way? Why do some people believe that way? And I personally think, and from what I've found, is that it's very much like an Indiana Jones adventure to learn about this stuff. I kind of feel like Indiana Jones when I'm like reading the Bible or like learning more about history, or because there has to be some kind of solid answer, you know what I mean, like to everything. And I think the more that we look into it, the more that we do research and stuff, the more that people will find that there's definitely similarities, but like it's to me it's so interesting. And it's not like you're saying earlier, it's not just like a fad. It's been around for thousands of years. There's been wars about it, and there's
yeah,
huge historical stuff about it. And to me, just to be able to dedicate like 10 minutes a day, maybe 5 minutes a day, to just kind of learn a little bit more, to me is very like is just be able to
yeah,
keep learning about that. Yeah, like it's amazing. Anybody just to just kind of look into it. I sometimes I wish I could do more videos on it, but I feel like the audience, part of the audience, not everybody, but may not be ready for that.
yeah,
And so I would like to be able to somehow make that connection and share that. I want to do it in a way that they would be open to. I don't want to just do everything real fast and I should have maybe been a little softer or something like that.
Yeah,
But
that's understandable. I totally get it. Yeah. But
yeah.
yeah, I think though the message though at the very end of those videos is a good start for that. So yeah, I totally agree with that.
Yeah, I like that I can have fun and be goofy and stuff, and then I can
Yeah.
share. If people want to pause and read it, they can. But yeah, like I think that's. I'm sure that there are people who read it and they are toward the end of the video. They're thinking, "Oh, I'm excited to read the message now and see what more personal side of things."
What YouTuber would you collab with? Who would it be and why?
So, like collaborating has kind of been for me more people that I know. Like a lot of the people in
Yeah.
college in Jam 2 was Kunal and Cortland and Joey and a bunch of people, that I knew personally from school and stuff. Jack and Dom and stuff. Like I worked together and they would have their own YouTube channels or whatever. They were doing their own thing. So I'm kind of more like people I know collaborate with. I mean, when FCCD was coming back with Chasington because he did like a video essay on our channel, I thought, hey man, I was so honored when he made that. I was like, wow, like thank you for doing that. And then I kind of asked him, I said, hey, could you like do me a favor though, like and make like a little teaser that the channel's coming back. And he did. He put it
Hmm.
together and I was very impressed. He filmed stuff and he announced when we were starting the re-upload, which was the first of that. It took a long time before the channel really was rolling again. It was really nice of him to do that and to post it on his channel, and it's still on his channel. So we kind of worked together, via I don't even think we talked over the phone. I think we just messaged. And then I think like through the mailbox stuff, there were a few ideas that people had sent in, and I kind of liked some of them, and then others I said, well, I don't know if that would really work super well on my channel. The idea of collaborating is open. It's a little bit more difficult to execute though,
Mm.
because sometimes if you're just like you can't appear in person and things like that, like it's a little bit harder to work together. I think if someone's physically there present, like then it's like okay, we can like either film a live action sketch or things like that. But yeah, I'm definitely open to collaborate. I would like to in the future. I think it would be really cool if there was like some sort of united group that would be able to say, hey, like we're not Hollywood, we're not like the big Hollywood group, but like we're a bunch of people who want to either film, act, write, come up with a concept, do something, and kind of had like our own little Hollywood. You could send out something and say, hey, is anybody interested in working on something like this? Is anyone interested in doing this? It would be really cool to see something like that in the YouTube community of just creative people who are doing storytelling kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It would be nice to see something like that. It'd be really cool to see like a YouTube community. If that's already a thing, then cool.
I mean, it kind of is a little bit of a casting call, but it's like half of the people on there, like they're hard to reach on there because it's like a app that's like on PC and stuff, but like try using it on the phone, like you can't really get that far because it kind of messes up. Most of the people that you find on there are either don't exist on there.
Yeah, I think if there was a solid group of maybe like 1,000 people who were
Yeah,
serious and you had to like re-up every month in order, it didn't cost money or anything. It was just like a common group. But yeah, I know a lot of those websites, people apply and stuff and then they don't go on it and then they're,
but yeah,
yeah.
I like your idea with. I think that would be a good idea. We need something like that, honestly, because it's like. It's really hard to find anyone you can collab with, ideas with, someone that matches the
Yeah.
interest. Yeah, we need a site that doesn't have ads or like has more people on it, more than like 1,000 or something. Maybe like an entire community. Got this certain amount of people that want to collaborate on something or want to work on a project or something, something like that. Like you said, yeah,
Hmm.
because that should happen, guys. Yeah, we need that to happen.
If you were to quit making comedy sketch videos in the future, would you keep your videos on the channel or would you delete them?
So I've already kind of been through that already in my channel's life. So in September 2018, I had not deleted my channel, but I had taken my videos down. I did delete the videos from channel. I didn't have any actually, I think, for
Yeah,
a little while, and then I
you didn't
posted
have any.
funny. Yeah, I experienced this a little bit. So it's like in life, as your perspective changes on things. The way that I was writing my videos early on, I said, okay, I want to make sure that I have no cursing in these videos. I want to make sure that it's family friendly, but it has like an edge to it. At certain moments and certain points throughout making the videos, I thought, well, like, yeah, let me do this really funny part. I didn't really think much of it at the time, but when I started learning about God, I had realized, really, again, like Spider-Man, it's a responsibility. Like with great power comes great responsibility. And the great power is having an audience of thousands, if not millions, watching the videos. And those moments, those little funny moments, have an influence on people. And if it seems very like okay to do something that's in the video, to some people it may be funny. Oh, that's so funny. Like, well, but in the back of their mind they're thinking, yeah, but I would never do that. But not everybody's. Some people, they would think like, oh, well, I saw SpongeBob do that in a video I saw once, so that's okay to do. There's a responsibility that comes with having an audience when learning about God, and having that really set in. I made the decision. I said, well, I like my videos, but I said, I don't think it has to be all or nothing. I said, let me take out those few seconds that I felt were very not necessary, very inappropriate for millions to see. If it were something like my friend, I was telling my friend, like, okay, maybe he understands, but I don't know what the situation is for millions. And so I don't want to do something that might cause somebody harm in their life. So I said, well, let me cut those parts out. While I was doing it, I was like, man, this is going to be a huge task to have to re-edit these videos, re-upload them. And for some of the videos, some of the people may have noticed that some of the music was changed too. And I tried to do the best I could because of copyrights and stuff at the same time. I said, well, it was much harder than I thought to make my own music, and trial and error in there. But I would say, I think at this point, the way I have the videos on the channel, I would probably leave them up as they are, and I wouldn't delete anything. Well, maybe, like, depending, I might condense the mailbox videos or something over time. If there's like 5 of them, I might do a one long mailbox video with all of them in it, and then just to kind of clean up the channel, keep it concise. I think at this point, with what I've learned in my life, unless there's something new for me to learn, I think the content is pretty safe, and it's still make it as funny as I can. But I think it's at a point now where I'm pretty like, okay, this seems pretty good. And that was the only reason why I took the videos down, was because I thought, some of the stuff that's in it is not appropriate for the audience. When I started really making like the SpongeBob videos, I was like 19, and I thought other 19-year-olds were watching the video. And then later, after reading the comments and stuff, and when it really started blowing up, I was like, oh man, like a lot of 7-year-olds are watching this. And I was like, oh, I thought people who grew up with SpongeBob that were my age watching it. I didn't know that anyone much younger than me was watching it by like over 10 years. I was like, oh, okay, well, if these are being shown to kids, I was like, huh. And then I was thinking about it more and more.
Yeah.
But eventually I got to the point that, okay, this needs to be taken care of. And we were talking about the COPPA thing earlier, and I understand why YouTube made changes, and I understand why YouTube has regulations, because there is a responsibility that YouTube has. And then to the point where like the government's going to step in. The government's going to say, hey, listen, man, like there's guys in their 20s making really crazy videos that like 6, 7-year-old kids are watching. Like, you just can't do that. You guys are the host website for it. Like, you're going to have to do something here. Otherwise, we're going to have to. I can totally understand it. And I can understand it's a tough situation.
Yeah.
I know that a lot of people grew up with these videos. They love these videos. Like, I know that feeling. But I also know the feeling of, like, you got to do the right thing. It's a tough decision to make. Sometimes in life, that's the decisions you have to make. I don't think, like, with what I told you guys, like how I'm making a Mario video, I don't think my content is going to be too much of a problem. Still is in the back of my mind. I'm like, oh, well, something could happen. But I think there's a lot of other Mario parodies out there. There's a ton of them. And I don't see the same thing happening to them. So I'm like, well, maybe it could be by association or whatever. But I'm kind of like, we'll see what happens.
That's
and
what
I've
I
been
think.
finding for myself that writing comedy, and since 2018, taking the videos down, re-editing them, and learning more about God, and taking on the new challenge of saying, okay, let's still try to be funny without doing anything that's just inappropriate humor of any
Yeah.
kind. Because sometimes I would really just pepper it in. I didn't have a lot of it. But to try to take on that new challenge and say, okay, let's try to be really funny without that, has definitely been a challenge. But I do think that it has inspired a lot of like really pretty quality jokes that I may have not otherwise have gotten if I didn't take that on. And I know a lot of my viewers might be thinking like, oh, his stuff isn't like it used to be, or things. I think a lot of times, like when you make changes to stuff, you have to make a shift.
Yeah.
That it does take time calibrate, but I noticed that I was on that trend before. When I first started writing comedy, not everything was super hilarious, but toward the end, like stuff got pretty funny.
Hmm.
And I kind of hope the same thing happens in this era of FCCD.
I think honestly, from channel itself, I think it will definitely. I think it's got a really good run, so I think the jokes land pretty good, dude. They're pretty good jokes. So yeah, I think it'll do pretty good.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
welcome, dude. Yeah.
There is definitely a core group that's still watching, and I'm like, that core group just makes me so happy because it's like, man, these people were probably here before, like most
Mhm.
of them. I can't imagine it's all new viewers, but there's got to be some in there that have been watching for a long time and they're still hanging around. I'm just thinking, like, man, that's really cool to know that, like, whether they throw something in the comments or they're just still watching, or I'm like, man, it's really cool, and they're understanding and they know that things change over time. I'm super happy. I'm so thankful for them. They're
Yeah.
great. They're awesome.
I even understood it. Like when I found out your channel was gone, I was like, man, what happened? And then when I saw that video you posted, Jesus healed my panic attacks. I understood everything that happened. I was like, wow, man. I was like, I can understand the whole shift and change in the channel. And I was so understanding of it. Even then, you still didn't lose me as a fan. You still got me right there. Because honestly, I get it, man. I get it. Life can be tough. You got to make changes for yourself and the channel. Stuff happened. I wasn't gone, bro. I still watched the channel. And I didn't care if it shifted or not. I still liked the content either way. Didn't change my mind about it.
Thanks.
Yeah, yeah, for
Thanks
sure.
so
Yeah.
much, dude. I appreciate
Yeah, man, like your content has been
Yeah,
inspiration
it
for
never
everyone,
changed.
It's been a very big inspiration for
It
many
never changed
YouTubers.
my perspective. You're
Yeah,
still the same person as you
yeah,
were. You were just going through a lot.
Thank you. Yeah. The re-upload took a long time. It actually took 2 whole years of, like, my free time to re-edit everything. I was so excited to post, like, Precious Family Moments and Fried Chili Cheese Dogs tapes and Cheesy Drips and Crispy Bits, all those longer form videos. And a lot of the comments that I got on them were, like, just incredible. People really going deep and talking about what the content meant to them and how it relates to them and how they had similar stuff going on in their life, or their family, or whatever. And I just thought, like, those who are going to appreciate will appreciate it. I understood that I was going to not get as many views on those, but, like, artistically, a lot of times that's what you do stuff that it's not always about being popular. And really, like, that's the peak part of doing it, is like you make videos, you have fun, and then it's like you get to share a little bit of something precious that's, like, really deep and really precious and really connected to you. Some people will understand, not everyone will. It's not at a million views or anything like that, but, like, those who have watched, like, they know. I really do appreciate the people who are sticking around and stuff and still watching. And I also understand the other side of the coin. The I want to watch the fun stuff. I get exactly how that works. I'm right there with it. I get it. I do have to say, like, there's some fun stuff on the way. There's some definitely fun stuff, and it's right around the corner.
yeah, man. I could definitely agree more with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to say it has been an honor to have you on this episode of Squadcast Podcast, man. This is an honor, man. Huge honor, dude, to have you on this episode,
Good.
man.
Yeah. Very
Thank
honorable.
Yeah.
This is my first, I guess, my second interview. Jack, who was in Monopoly, he interviewed me one day for a college class project. But you guys are my first, like, interview talking about this stuff. It's an honor to that you guys commented on the video and said, hey, like, let me know if you can be an interview. And I was honored to read that. I was like, wow. And then I thought about it. I was like, oh, should I do it? Like, I don't know who these guys are. Let me look into it. Watch you guys' videos. And they said, yeah, like, let's do it. It'll be fun. So, like, and
And
then I'm getting
we
to meet you guys.
and we were like quite shocked and surprised that we actually gave a comment back, because usually like it's this is rare to according to us, and you're like one of the most best YouTubers out there that we
Yeah.
see you like succeed,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
we're very inspired by your work.
Thank you, man. No, I really do appreciate that. And that right there, you guys just putting that comment out there, and in order to reach out to me, is really all you have to do. Like, if you guys want to keep doing the podcast thing and interviewing people, I'm very happy to get to meet you guys, to talk with you
Me too,
guys,
man.
and to hear your perspective about things, and it's been a wonderful conversation. I really do appreciate you guys.
This was a wonderful. This was like the best interview that we had
Yeah.
since the other videos that we made so far.
And you guys, I was watching the other ones. You guys are doing great. Even from you guys have 5 or 6 interviews now, and like you guys are growing. You guys are doing great. Like it's nice, like the way you guys have it set up and everything. Like you're doing a fantastic job.
To the viewers out there, this guy, he's the best out there as we see it. You know,
Well,
we
thanks.
really appreciate your time.
Yeah,
I
man. We
We
appreciate it.
really
appreciate you
do.
having on Squadcast podcast.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I have to say, like from Fried Chili Cheese Dogs, it's hard work, fun to put these videos together, and I hope the audience thinks it's fun to watch them, to talk about them and stuff. And I'm really just trying to share what I felt when I was 10, 11, 12, 13, and new videos were coming out, and I'd tell my friends about them, or we'd have a sleepover and we'd watch a new episode, a new video from somebody on YouTube, or if we went to the movies or something, just that excitement that comes with like, hey, somebody put something together, let's watch it. I'm trying to kind of do the same thing, to share that with others. I appreciate you guys, many kind words, so I really do appreciate it. And I think you guys are doing great with your interviews and stuff. And I think it's awesome.
You're welcome, man. Thank you.
You're welcome, man. This is Squadcast Podcast, Fried Chili Cheese Dogs, Fabulous Marvelous Bros, and MHYT signing off. We hope you guys have a great day. Never give up, even when you struggle. Continue on your dreams. Make your future happen, no matter what goes on in your life.
Exactly, guys. Keep striving on. This is Squadcast podcast.